Today I'll be tying the IOBO Humpy. IOBO stands for It Ought to Be Outlawed, and it's a fly that a customer several years ago introduced me to. Been very effective. Let me get a hook, put it into the vise. Any dry fly hook will do, but I happen to be using the Daiichi 1100 size 16. For thread, I'll be using Danville 70 denier or 6/0, and it's an olive color. Start right behind the eye of the hook, and I take touching turns about halfway back and trim the thread. I spin the bobbin holder just to flatten out my thread and continue forward. And I'm above the barb of the hook, but I'm going to take a couple of additional wraps backward. This fly has the tendency to move forward, the body move forward. The only material is CDC feathers. I found Trout Hunter to be the best I can find. And I'm using today a natural dark dun, but any color will work. You can use a tan, a brown, variety of colors. Here's a chart of the 4 basic styles of CDC feathers. And I found that to be successful with this fly, I try to use the first feather, the number 1 on the far left. Those happen to be feathers like this, similar to a partridge feather, as opposed to longer feathers like this. These have a function, but not for this particular fly. We'll save those for a different day. So I take 2 feathers, sometimes 3, depending upon how many fibers are in each one. And they have a natural curvature, and I want the concave side going down. I want the tips aligned, and so I just put one on top of the other and move this back and forth with my thumb. You can capture all the fibers. And then for length, I want this to be extending beyond the shank of the hook about 1.5 times the shank of the hook. So let's take 2 or 3 wraps here. And we can test the length now. We'll pull that forward. I think I want it to be a little bit longer. So that's a good way to judge whether the proportions are right for you or not. So let's start that over, make a thread wrap, secure it, take your thumb, push it forward. That looks better to me. Take a couple of more, pull this back and make a couple of thread wraps right at the base to lock those in. And now as I move forward, I bring my hand under the vise, hold these fibers above the hook, and make open wraps with my thread, which creates the body of the fly. And the thread makes a natural ribbing. Pull those butt ends up and trim. Pull the feather forward over the eye of the hook. And you can pull it tight, but I found that using my thumb right at the end helps make that even tighter. I'm about an eye length back from the eye of the hook. And let's make a soft wrap, pinch wrap. Here's 3 wraps, pull the feather upward. And now we're just going to create a thread dam to keep the wing upright. And that's all there is to the fly. It's a very simple fly. Just takes a little bit of technique to select the right feather and make sure that you have the right proportion for the wing. So if you take your scissors and use that as a measuring, you can see that it's about the shank of the hook, maybe a little bit more, but that's fine. For these fibers behind, you can keep those or you can pull them off. I find that as the fish eat it, you'll have a few of those fibers come back and it creates kind of a natural tail. They might take it for an emerger. I don't really know. All I know is it's been a really effective fly for me. So if you like this video, please hit the like button below and subscribe to my RiverKeeper Fly YouTube channel. The fly pattern sheet, which is not much, I'll link it below. And I hope you enjoyed this fly, and I'll see you next time.